counsel, it's really hard to explain counsel, because it's like when you get involved in it and you're open to the process and you speak from the heart, it just does something to you. Most of the time when I've finished counsel, I've always felt lighter. I've always felt more joyous.
Center for Counsel creates programs and trainings within the criminal justice system and through community-based organizations serving thousands of people every year.
Center for Counsel allows us to feel like we're human beings, not just inmates, not just numbers, not just a statistic. We're actually people that, we rely on one another now. We build bonds.
Coming from the background that I come from, which is a gang background, and being caught up in that lifestyle, you become that person because of certain things that happen in your life, and counsel helps you learn to discover that true you. That part of you that God created, of who you really are. Someone, I believe, who's loving, someone who's caring, compassionate. That's what the human spirit is. And that's what I believe counsel has helped me bring out.
In counsel, everybody's on the same level and everybody gets a turn. You use a talking piece and the agreement is not to interrupt. So you come to trust you're going to get your turn. You can relax and you can listen better.
So you could be black, you'd be white, Mexican, Indian, Christian, Catholic, whatever. None of that is important there. Everybody's on the same level. So there is no bickering of who's better than anybody else because everybody's the same. It's about just listening, and that's the hardest thing we have in here is that we don't tend to listen very well, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
We know that the most effective rehabilitative programs target at least 4 dynamic criminogenic factors: lack of empathy, lack of impulse control, antisocial attitudes, hostility, isolation, and antisocial friends, destructive, negative relationships.
This actually lets you listen to that person, and then you could process it later, but then you're like, wow, I never knew he felt that way. I felt like that before, and he's white, or he's black.
I'm a lifer. I'm doing life. My background is violent. I ran with Aryan Brotherhood when I was on the main line. And, I've turned a corner in my life. Being able to reinvent myself required me to start investing into myself.
You are there to be yourself and to be your genuine self. When you're opening up to other people, when you're sharing, your personal experiences and things that you've been through, and they're listening to you, and you have the opportunity to express yourself without being judged, without being criticized. And then you get to hear other people's stories too. And I think there's a commonality in a lot of our stories. And when you hear it, you're able to say, okay, he's been through some things I've been through, and I can relate to him. And it helps you to grow even more in terms of opening up.
I think that there's a real sense of freedom and unburdening that comes from setting down all these learned behaviors, biases, self-imposed limitations.
I'm not that person that was, on the streets of South Central Los Angeles doing the things that I was doing. That's not who I really am. The true me is a person that's kind, loving, and caring.
I realize now that counsel is all about developing skill sets to live a life, an ethical life, and to express humility and kindness to other people, as well as being able to work on and develop some self-esteem, as well as regain self-dignity.
They carry the tools they learn in counsel out onto the yard and back into their lives.
I've seen a huge transformation. These guys, they have been successful. The word has spread. How, we don't know. Maybe the staff are talking about what they've witnessed. And the guys on the other side of the house are asking me, hey, when can we get that Center Counsel program? They're really wanting us to expand the program here just because they're hearing about it throughout the institution.
I've sat in on 2 different Center for Counsel sessions. I've interacted with the participants in session and off session, and I've noticed a sense of calmness, a sense of confidence, a sense of listening when I speak, just a positive attitude overall. We've walked away ourselves as staff saying, wow, what a difference.
We are hearing from officers and staff that they are noticing a culture shift, that the yards where counsel is embedded are feeling safer.
The inmates were expressing how for a long time, pretty much all their life, they were them against us. It was a gang against the gang, and now they're looking at each other as individuals. They're able to meet themselves and understand that we all are humans, we have issues, and so it makes for a lot safer environment, both for our inmate population and our staff.
I think anytime you talk in such a manner where you can listen, know that you're listened to, appreciate and understand each other a little bit more, I think your chances for resolve are much higher. And I think that's what counsel does.
Researchers from the RAND Corporation and the University of California studied the inmate counsel program and found that it leads to less aggression and hostility and more connection. Counsel decreases reactivity and increases resilience in the face of stress.
If you can impact a level 4 maximum security prison, you have no excuse. You can impact a city or a county, or if you want to go on a macro level, a world.
Our programs in prisons, as well as in organizations and communities, are all about learning skillful means to create community.
Now we start every staff meeting, every Monday, with a counsel practice, because it creates a container. We're going to be in this together now, and we're going to make it our sacred time together. And we, intentionally set aside every Monday morning, no matter how busy we are.
It just shows that counsel is limitless. It has so many applications, and I think it's only limited by your imagination, and it can apply in almost any arena.
At Peace Over Violence, we use counsel in a lot of different circumstances. I think it's a process that's quite adaptable. It's a way to come together as a community. We use counsel with our volunteers, we use it with our youth, we use it with our staff, and listening is one of the most important things that we train on. This enables people to come together to listen in community. What counsel does is helps that integration and that reconnection happen again. Counsel is a miracle skill.
When you hear somebody else's story, there may be something that is triggered in you that reminds you of a story. And it creates a connection that's unexpected, or that is unique, or that ties you with another person.
It's like an opportunity to come back to ourselves.